Hi, I'm Gregory M. Smith, and you're watching one of Dan Picaldi's segments. He calls it From Head to Table. So I just wanted to give Dan the scoop on a new game I'm working on. And I was asked by Compass to do a sequel to Pacific Tide. And this is my, don't be shocked, two-player game about the Pacific. But what makes this game really neat is the fact that it has a card rebuy system that works with production. So you take your build points, you get the current year's cards for free, but then you rebuy cards from previous years based on what you need or think you need. Well, so that's Pacific Tide, so I decided to make a World War I version because there's production for both countries, and call that Imperial Tide, which is a little bit of a strange name, but I think of this tidal wave of German infantry rolling into Belgium and France. But the main reason is World War I's been taken, the Great War, anything you can imagine. So I thought, all right, I'll call it Imperial Tide. But basically, the game's gone through several maps already, and now we're on to about the fourth prototype map. Take a look at it real quick. Go ahead and pen down. And basically, you might want to consider this. It's almost like Paths of Glory Light, I guess I might call it. I love Paths of Glory. Great game. Kudos to Ted for having designed it. But sometimes it can take a long time. 6-7 hours. I mean, Paths of Glory could take a while. So my objective was a small footprint game that's maybe achievable in, say, 3 hours, certainly in an evening. And so I think I've actually done that. I'm really happy with the prototype right now. Another shocker here, I actually have a combat results table for this game. There's replacements, and then here's the cards. That's all there are. The whole game is just 24 cards per side, and there's some year cards. But the cards kind of dictate what happens. You use them for both attack and defense and movement. So they're multi-use. It's a little bit different than most card-driven games, especially from the viewpoint of the card rebuy system. But you get your cards for free, and then you play, and the opponent plays a card. And one of the neat mechanics I instituted in this game, a new mechanic, is attrition warfare. It's somewhat reminiscent of the old World War I game from Decision, which was literally called World War I, where you just bang on the guy and nobody ever moves, you just lose replacement points. So the attrition combat mechanic has sort of that feel to it, where you're just trying to grind the guy away in France, but in the meantime the Germans are hopefully beating up on the Russians and hopefully taking Belgrade away from the Serbs. And then you've got the chance of having some chicanery down in Salonika and also in Gallipoli. I don't really have the Near East section. That's more or less abstracted to kind of keep this manageable. But new World War I games, obviously very strategic, and I think it's going to be fun. So it's certainly fun in testing. I've enjoyed it, and there's quite a bit of thinking too, because you've got to really sequence your cards, but you also really the key decision is, what do you rebuy? Which cards do you rebuy? And you're always just a little bit short of production points of what you want to buy versus what you can afford to buy. So that kind of makes for fun decisions for the players. But Imperial Tide, I'm hoping next year. I mean, it's August already. We're going to try to get this rolling soon. Anyway, thanks for listening.